Hi, this is Samantha here from RecipeThis.com and the voice behind the popular Kitchen Gadgets podcast, Magic with Gadgets. Today I'm here at Rose Cottage in beautiful Yorkshire, England to share with you how to cook a one-pot air fryer dinner of air fryer chicken thighs and potatoes. Well, before we dive into this recipe, I just wanted to suggest that you head over to RecipeThis.com. We've got more than 1,200 kitchen gadget recipes, including recipes for the air fryer, instant pot, slow cooker, soup maker, bread maker, microwave, Ninja Foodie, and many others. We also have a free weekly newsletter, which you can find on the homepage of RecipeThis.com, or you can find it on RecipeThis.com/newsletter. And there you can get our best kitchen gadget recipes sent to your inbox every Friday morning. We're using a skin-on, bone-in chicken thighs, and I've just grabbed myself a cheap bag of potatoes from Tesco's, and then we can put it together for you and show you how easy it is to cook chicken and potatoes at the same time in the air fryer. So let's start with the ingredients. You know, you might be looking down and thinking, whoa, that's a lot of stuff, but it's really not that bad. Mainly because my bag of potatoes is huge and we're not using that many potatoes. I just haven't opened it yet. And then of course the chicken thighs. You can go with a medium to a large size chicken thighs with the skin on. And then it's all about the seasonings. So for the potatoes, we're going with salt and pepper. And we're also going with some oregano, which is absolutely delicious. And then of course, to make them nice and crispy. Now, for the chicken thighs, we're talking lovely chicken thighs. And then my favourite mixture, which is mustard, honey, and garlic puree. And then they can mix together and they'll make a lovely coating on your chicken thighs and makes the skin have the absolute wow factor. And then as well as that, to make your job even easier, I recommend a good size mixing bowl and a good chopping board. And then for measuring out the extra virgin olive oil so that you're not using too much, I also recommend a little container that you can measure your oil out into before you throw it into the potatoes. And those are the main ingredients. So let's get started, shall we? The easiest way to get started with this recipe is to do the potatoes first. This is because your potatoes are underneath in the air fryer basket because you place your chicken over your potatoes and everything cooks nicely together. So it's so much easier to prep your potatoes and then prep your chicken. You can use whatever size potatoes that you want. We've just got a couple of small ones, some medium ones and some bigger ones. You can go with lots of the same size. For example, taking that out and giving it more an equal. And then once you've chosen your potatoes, put the rest of your potatoes to one side, and then it's time to start prepping your potatoes. I just recommend any veggie knife will do. This is my favourite knife and I picked it up many years ago now from IKEA, and it just does a perfect job of chopping the potatoes. So as you're noticing, I am keeping the skin on them because the skin is absolutely lovely on potatoes in the air fryer. If you check out our video for air fryer Cajun fries, which are like the Five Guys fries, just minus the peanut oil, and they are skin on. And of course, everybody loves our wedges in the air fry, which again, skin on. And then just chop them into medium slices. If there's any bits you don't want, you can just put those to one side. And then you can do a big chunk of potatoes like that at the same time. And then the last potato. And then through the middle like that. So that's all the potatoes that we're going to be using in this recipe. So now what you want to do is you want to transfer them to a bowl. This is the bowl that I'm using, and it's fantastic, decent size, so that you can properly mix the potatoes. So what I recommend you do is you give them a mix first before you've added anything, because then any pieces of potato that are stuck together will loosen up. And then for the seasonings, oregano. I absolutely love oregano. And for our herbs, what I use Marks and Spencer's, because there's so much better quality than quite a few of the other brands that I've tried. And then I'll just nip in and get some new ones when some of them have run out. But it's normally oregano, basil or thyme or sweet paprika, because those are the ones that I use the most. Now, for measuring that extra virgin olive oil, what I have here is I have the Joseph and Joseph bowl set. And what this is this is a brilliant little cup, because it does teaspoon or it does tablespoon. So I can fill it up to the top for a tablespoon, and then at the indicator there for a teaspoon. I recommend close to a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil for a big portion of potatoes. So there you have it, and then just throw it in there. And then, you know, some people don't like cooking with their hands, but it's the best way to get the seasoning throughout the potatoes. And here's the best bit. What happens is when you use the extra virgin olive oil and mix the seasonings at the same time, the seasonings stick like glue to the potatoes thanks to the oil. So as you can see, the seasoning looks absolutely fantastic now on these potatoes, and they're just ready for adding into the air fryer basket. I'm just going to quickly wash my hands, because it's amazing how sticky you get from all the oils and the seasonings, and they can make your air fryer basket really dirty, or the handle of it as you're going in and out. So now, grab your air fryer basket, load in your potatoes, and then they can just sit there and wait for the chicken, which we're going to now prep. So we've placed the potatoes in the air fryer, and now they're just waiting for their chicken thighs to go with them and for it all to be cooked together. So the chicken thighs I'm using is just your regular pack from Tesco's. You can use any you want. They are quite big really. The ones in Portugal that are actually on Recipe This are a little bit smaller, so we might have to adjust the cook time slightly. I'm sure you get the idea. So let me give you a close-up of the size that we've got of these chicken thighs. Do note that they are skin on, bone in chicken thighs, which do take a little bit longer to cook than say your boneless ones that we've also cooked in the air fryer. But they do taste absolutely delicious, and the skin is so crispy in the air fryer. So first of all, what I suggest you do is, before you actually season your chicken thighs and get them ready, is to make your seasoning in a bowl. I have these lovely medium-sized bowls. I picked them up on Amazon, and the idea for them was for when I'm doing baking with the kids and we want to separate things to colour things differently, such as our Thermomix Play-Doh recipe, then we could separate into different bowls, and it's easier to work with colours. But they're also fantastic as a medium-sized mixing bowl as well. So for what do you need in your bowl? Well, you need some garlic puree. You can use any that you like. You know, we all have a personal preference, don't we? And then some honey. I don't particularly like this honey that much. When we first moved to Portugal and we moved into our first home that we owned there, what happened was, as we moved in, we had this lovely elderly lady that lived next door, and she gave us this massive bottle of honey as a moving in present, and we got totally hooked on honey. We'd never really bothered with it much until that point, and we thought it was absolutely amazing. So that started our love affair with honey, and I must admit this honey here is really not as nice. And it would help if I had the right size spoon. And then you also want to add your mustard. So you've got honey, garlic and mustard together in your little bowl. And then you just want to give it a good mix. And then if you feel like it's too much honey, not enough mustard, then you can alter it out a bit. You can add a bit of extra garlic if you feel like it's not garlicky enough. I like lots of honey. And then once you've given it a good mix, you want it to be kind of a nice creamy texture like that. So it goes off the spoon really nice. And then it's ready to go on your chicken. So now, grab your chicken. I'm going to go with some medium ones because of course it's going into the air fryer with the potatoes, so you don't want to go too big on it. So I'm not going to use the biggest one. So those are the 4 medium ones that I've got from this pack. You know what supermarkets are like, they never ever give you something of an equal size. So now I'm just going to give my hands a quick rinse because of course we're talking about raw chicken here. And then what you want to start with is some extra virgin olive oil spray onto your chicken. The great thing about the spray is you don't have to touch the chicken, so it saves you feeling like you're washing your hands every 20 seconds when you're dealing with the chicken. And then of course salt. You know, chicken is just amazing with just some salt and pepper. So if you don't want to do the honey thing, you can literally just stick to the salt and pepper. And then also a little sprinkle of oregano. You don't need a lot. And that'll do for the oregano. So now you've sprayed your chicken with your extra virgin olive oil, you've added your salt, you've added your pepper, you've had a sprinkle of oregano. All that's left now is to put some of your marinade on it. You can use a brush, but we're filming here today at a cottage, so we're not actually at our home. I forgot to bring my pastry brush. So I would normally use a pastry brush for this, but you can be a bit inventive. For example, using the end of the spoon like I'm doing. Just as long as you're getting it around and you're not making too much mess, because you want it on the chicken, nowhere else. And as you can see, this is nicely going onto the chicken. And then you've also got some left. So if you want to adjust and add some more or do more chicken, you've got plenty of left over there to do 2 batches of chicken. But when you're doing it in the air fryer and you're doing the potatoes as well, you've got limited room, and otherwise if you put too much in, it takes a much longer time to cook. So there you have it. There's your chicken thighs. They're all ready and prepped now. They're looking gorgeous and they're just ready to be air fried with the potatoes. So now what I recommend you do is move them out of the way, open your air fryer basket, and as you can see, you've still got those potatoes ready from earlier. So now all you do is find some room on top for your chicken thighs. And they are ready to be cooked. And then place them in. Oh, no, they will be heavy. And you're looking for 180 Celsius, that's 360 Fahrenheit. And a cook time of 15 minutes. Then we can check on the potatoes, see how they're doing, give them a shake, and then adjust and cook some more. And we've beeped. So the chicken and the potatoes have done a good amount of cooking time together now. So it's time to inspect them and just see what we need to do now. I mean, the main thing is turning the chicken over usually. So this is what the chicken thighs and potatoes looks like so far. And of course, what you need to do is you need to be able to shake the air fried potatoes and check on them. And of course, the chicken's in the way. So what I suggest you do is grab your pieces of chicken, put them to one side on a chopping board, Some of them are harder to get than others. This is mainly because the bone in, you see, so you kind of got to find a slot to actually get in. So let me show you the chicken so far. So that's the chicken so far. And of course it's not fully cooked, but our priority right now is the potatoes because they're underneath and they're not getting the air circulating as much because you've got quite a lot going on in the air fryer. So I recommend first that you shake your air fryer basket. And then just have a poke around for any that are actually stuck in the air fryer basket. Another fantastic tool for the air fryer is these little silicone things. I bought a pack of pretty colourful ones for the kids, but they're so good for getting in your air fryer basket as well. So you kind of use it like this to just check to see if there's any potato bits stuck, which there isn't. And then what I also recommend you do is you grab yourself a fork and then you do a fork test on your potatoes. And then you can see just how far along your potatoes are. And as you can see, they're cooked there, but they're not crispy. But what they are is very flavoursome because all those juices and flavours from the chicken is going onto the potatoes and it makes them absolutely amazing. However, if you are on a diet and you don't want all those fats from the chicken going on your potatoes, then you would simply cook it where you would put potatoes in one side of the air fryer, chicken thighs on the other, and then you wouldn't cook them on top of each other. But I find this way is a lot more flavoursome. So you want to add a little bit extra virgin olive oil to them and give them a shake so they're all spread out again. And now it's time to re-add the chicken thighs. But what we do now is we actually cook them on the other side because the honey is making them quite blackened and you want an equal cook on your thighs. So simply grab your thighs and put them like this back in so that the skin side down. And then I'm just going to give my hands a quick wipe. It's amazing how sticky they are. And then what you can do is you can add a little bit of, remember your leftover honey and stuff from earlier, which you'll find will have thickened up a little bit because of all the honey in there. And then you can simply do the same thing, but to the other side. This is totally optional. If you don't like this much honey and mustard, then you really don't need to do this. But I like to make use of the marinade that I've made. And then again on this one, it just also adds a lovely flavour to your chicken. And then when it's done like that, your air fryer is ready to go back on. So place your chicken and potatoes back in. And now I'm focusing on 180 Celsius, that's 360 Fahrenheit, it's the same temperature. And we'll go in with 10 minutes. Then we can check on them because the potatoes are cooked now, you know, but it's the chicken because some of those thighs are a little bit bigger and you want to make sure they're fully cooked. And the chicken and potatoes are done. So wow, take a look at those. They look absolutely fantastic. And then you can quickly use a knife to remove a chicken thigh from the air fryer. And then do the same. You can get your fork all the way, your knife all the way through, sorry. And then of course you can serve it with some of these yummy potatoes. Use whatever you've got to get the potatoes out quickly. And then move the air fryer out of the way so you can have a look. And that's how your potatoes and your chicken will look when they're coming out the air fryer. And of course add some more potatoes. And best of all, you can get a lovely crisp on these potatoes, just like that. And they're absolutely fantastic for just a quick dinner. And of course we can turn them around. And you can see what the chicken looks like on the other side. So it's right way up now. So there's just how simple it is to do of chicken and potatoes. And the wonderful thing is that lovely potato flavour from the chicken and the honey and the mustard is just absolutely amazing. I often get asked how to do a quick meal for two in the air fryer, and they often say to me, hang on a minute, what size air fryer should I be buying? Because people are telling me that because I'm just one or two people, I need a small air fryer. Well, by having the Philips XL like this, it's big enough to be able to cook your protein and your potatoes or your vegetables all at once in the air fryer. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the Recipe This family. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook and Pinterest. We also have a weekly newsletter at recipethis.com/newsletter, where we share with you our latest kitchen gadget recipes, what we're cooking in the Milner kitchen, and so much more. As well as this, we recommend that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then whenever we have a new video, you will be the first to know. And if you want to know about all our future videos, then I recommend you hit the bell for instant notifications. But even better, we now have a podcast. It's called Magic with Gadgets. Simply search Magic with Gadgets on your favourite podcast player and you'll find us there.